Everybody? This is Mike Lung over at Allendale's Trading Floor. It is Tuesday, November 3rd, and we are finally on Election Day. Starting off today's session, you have corn, beans, wheat all higher here with a little bit of backing off taking place back below that $4 mark after being able to jump above it on the overnight session. Wheat went right up to that resistance point we're going to be pointing out here in a little bit and failed so far. And beans holding some good highs, but at this point it'll be interesting to see if we are able to hold them throughout the day or if you see a risk off more to unchanged kind of mentality as the day session progresses. As of right now, our fundamental news mainly focused on election night. Are we going to get results tonight? Who's going to be our candidate? What's going to go on with that? What's going to be trade relations? How are we going to keep developing this country and moving forward? But we'll be watching that, and especially to see whether or not we actually get results here tonight, or if these mail-in ballots actually do become a problem. Foreign forecasts are going to be a big focus here too. You're going to be watching Ukraine, Russia, looking for rain events, as well as South America as always. We've been seeing bean deliveries against the November contract. We'll be watching to see if those continue or not. At this point, you are seeing a little bit of rebound like we talked about, but we are off our highs here still. We'll be watching the U.S.-Brazil competitiveness. Brazil's going to be starting to take on orders for shipments out in March, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not we continue to see China work its way into the U.S. Balance sheet and further erode at the ending stocks number we're currently looking at, or if we continue to see them go quiet as we have seen here recently. And as of right now, the only last thing we're really watching is, are we able to ship out what we have sold so far? As of right now, not much of a concern, but if we do start to see these numbers fall back, say we go back in lockdown and these ports start to slow down, is that going to develop into a concern later on down the road? Something definitely to keep in the back of your mind. On the technical side of things, still got a gap below us with a minor gap still sitting above us. Went above that $4 mark here on the overnight session, but as of right now, fading back below. So we'll be watching the highs from late last week, seeing if we can break that through that 404 area here today, moving back up maybe to this old resistance point that we did break right through on the way down. On the bean side of things, like I said, we got a little bit of a bounce here, but nothing huge. Went up to that 10-day moving average, and as of right now, holding pretty stable, waiting to see what the day session has in store for us. We'll be watching these old highs as your resistance zone, and obviously the recent lows as your support areas. So a few things to be watching on that bean market. You'll probably expect to see some quieter trade here today with everything that's happening with election later on. As we're talking about with wheat, went right up to this old high, this 616 3/4, actually went up to 616 1/2, and is failing against it. So we'll be interested to see how we interact with that if we do continue to back off after a outside day higher yesterday. And again, probably going to be watching some pretty quiet trade ahead of the election. On the livestock side of things, show list up 11,800. You got box beef that is rising here on the PM report, as well as carcass for the cattle side of things. As of right now, trade is eager to test out packer interest. Now that beef has posted its seasonal low, we're expecting to see these still potentially have some upside here going forward. On the technical side of things, you do see that nice pop-up that we've seen. A little scare of an outside day lower, but able to find some support here on the cattle market here yesterday, potentially putting in this nice V bottom going forward. It doesn't seem like trade is overly concerned in the cattle side of things that coronavirus to get to shut them back down. On the hog side of things, we are moving sideways, found some support near last week's lows, and currently sitting sideways between right between the support and resistance level. So we'll see how we interact with those here today, if there is even that much trade. You've been watching a big bear spread enter this market, and as of right now, starting to enter its lower quarter of that those contracts, those spread ranges. So something definitely to monitor here with that big sell-off. Maybe it's time to see those settle out. If not, find a little bit of support going here. Any questions you may have, please give me a call, 800-262-7538. Over here at Allendale, you guys have a great one.